Each person in our communities deserves a safe home, especially during natural disasters and an increasingly urgent climate crisis. In early November, Typhoon Vamco made landfall in the Philippines. It was the country's deadliest typhoon of the year and came only weeks after Typhoon Goni, the world's strongest storm this year. My mom's home province, Cagayan, and where much of her family still calls home, was hit the hardest.
The recent flooding here in our place, in our community, was the worst. Actually, it was the worst in the past 40 years. We were anxious in our place. Most of our nearby neighbors were under their household were underwater until the second floor of their houses, and most of our belongings were really damaged, like our television, our sets, everything were damaged because we were not expecting that the flooding is that high.
Fatalities continue to rise, and thousands of homes are destroyed, families displaced. As news outlets and officials gather numbers and assess the damage, community organizing on the ground and with extended family across the world is taking place, laying the foundation again for what feels like the 1,000th time to rebuild.
There were relief operations that happened that came from the local government officials, even Red Cross, Philippine Red Cross, and some good-hearted individuals have conducted the relief operations.
Nationally, we raised over 77,000, I think, the last time I checked. We also identified additional organizations that are more localized. The funds that we do give are able to be used immediately.
It takes a village to rise together in times of crises.
We felt the spirit of Bayanihan, that the culture, the spirit of Filipinos extending help. That is what we really appreciate.
While the Philippines seems like a distant speck thousands of miles away, this crisis hits close to home, and not just for me or my family and those in the Filipino community in the States. Environmental crises affect low-income, indigenous, and communities of color the hardest. We don't have to look farther than our own country to see examples of how environmental hazards and crisis impact our own American families.
Before, it's not this kind of experience we have, no? And extremities are already part of climate change that our world leaders need to ponder and cause for a greater policy.
One of the things that a lot of the youth activists over there that I've been seeing just on social media, they've been advocating for are certain projects that our corporations are taking over that are ruining the environment. There's a lot of dams being built in that same mountain region where the storm hit, and a lot of indigenous activists, a lot of youth activists are saying the mountains help weaken the storm, and so when you shift the mountain, obviously the storms get stronger and they impact bigger. And the dam was actually sponsored by a bunch of different corporations, and it's not handled well.
Let's remind ourselves and our lawmakers that our collective fates are intertwined in our access to clean water, air, food, and aid in disasters. This need knows no borders.
It makes it seem like certain individuals are what's creating the climate crisis that we have today instead of corporations.
Who is responsible? Who are the big playmakers when it comes to why we're collectively suffering, we're collectively having these type of problems in our society. And so I think it's important for us to unite and not just look at what's going on here kind of in an insulated manner, but also realizing that we are very much connected to the issues that are going on around the world.
But we have to do more, right? And we have to demand more. And climate crisis is now for Filipino Americans in the global north, like in the US and Canada. We always hear those like articles that are saying we only have 10 years before the tides change and the climate crisis reverse. But actually for people back home, it's happening now. Like they don't have 10 years.
I think we have to think broader and bolder when it comes to how do we address these issues, because one country, one nation that tries to address this issue is not going to be enough. It needs to be an effort with all governments, all peoples. Although our issues, our problems here may be in some ways different, it's also very similar.
Well, true enough, Bayanihan in spirit for Filipinos are still in the minds or being practiced by Filipinos. We should extend a helping hand to our less fortunate fellow men, not only to our countrymen, but to the whole world as well.